back to Trina's Organic Lifestyle. And I wanted to come on here and do a video because I was just watching Lead Farmer 73's video about people being prepared and how he did a poll, and so many people that are not prepared, and some people who are not prepared for 7 days and so forth. So I just can't understand in this day and age how people cannot be prepared. But I do understand that a lot of people stated that they didn't have the finances or the money to buy a lot of these things. And what happens, you guys, is that we're watching someone such as Lead Farmer 73 or some other YouTuber, and they're buying this and they're doing that and so forth. And what happens is that, you know, they might be spending anywhere from $100 or more, you know, $500 for an item or several items. And I want people to understand that it does not take a lot of money to prepare for emergencies, for what you need in your family. So let's address the money situation. Yes, a lot of people do not have the money to spend $1,000 on a solar generator or, $500. But there are other options out there. So what if you can't get a Bluetti or a Jackery? You know, there are other items out there. I was watching another YouTuber, and I can't think of his name right now, but I will list it in this video. But so I was watching him, and he has a small off-brand solar generator that I think is about, I forgot how many watts it is. I'll look into that, and I'll also put that in this video as well. But he found it on Amazon, and I found it on Amazon. I looked at what he had, and I Googled it and found it on Amazon. And it runs about $250, which still might be a lot of money for some people. But if you can save up anything, you know, save $10 at a time, $20 at a time. Here's some other options to address money for lack of being prepared. You can collect bottles and cans and turn those in and take that money and set aside. Call that your emergency preparedness money, so that you can buy the things that you need for yourself and your family. Other things you can do to get some money is you can maybe sell some things on Craigslist or a Facebook Market, or just have a yard sale or tell people about it. Find a way that you can do a consignment, some way that you can sell something or get rid of something that you don't need or is not important to you, and you can get money from it. There's several ways that you can find ways to get extra money. If you can pick up another part-time job, just for a short period of time, you know, they do not need to know that it's a part-time or short period of time, but maybe work that second job for maybe 6 months or so, and take that check and put those checks towards your emergency preparedness, because it is imperative, guys, that you are prepared some way for your family. And so trying to find other means of income other than just your job, you have to think outside the box. You have to think about some things. If anybody's a gardener, and in my case, I can see where you can make some money off of banana plants. Banana plants are fast growers and they're easy to propagate, and you could go ahead and put those on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, or, there's other apps that you can use to list items to sell, and, use that to sell maybe, some plants, or maybe if you can air layer. For those who live in an apartment, you don't maybe have that opportunity, although you can grow bananas in a container and propagate those, pull those out and sell that. You can do that as well. But back to the old staple of recycling cardboard and bottles and cans, just doing that. Every little dollar that you can get will help towards saving towards the needs of your family. or just yourself if it's just you. Now, things that you may need. Well, there is a plethora of information on the internet, but let's think about common sense here. Start with your basics. You need water, food, and shelter. Okay, so you need, how much water do you need? Well, there's some that say you need a gallon per person per day. Some say you need 5 gallons per person per day. Well, you kind of have to determine what you're going to do with this water. You're going to have to probably brush your teeth, prepare food, maybe clean dishes, and, maybe even a short bathing for yourself. So, those things you have to think about. And then that will determine how much you can store. So if you're in an apartment, you don't have a lot of room. You don't have in a garage, or if you do, it's just enough for your car maybe. But find a way to store some food, maybe in a closet, or there's different things that you can do to store water. Not just bottled water, but maybe some type of container that you can use that will hold maybe at least 5 gallons, or get a food grade 5 gallon bucket. You've seen them, they look like the Home Depot ones, but these are for food. You can get a couple of those are 5 gallons. You use that to fill with water, maybe 3 of those, and you can stack those on top. That's what, 15 gallons of water, aside from maybe some bottled water that you have. So you have to really think, what are your needs? And then food. Well, how do you store food? Well, I saw a lot of people in the comment were speaking about going to the dollar store. You have 99-cent store, you have Big Lots, you have Dollar Tree, you have Dollar General. There is so many dollar stores around that you can go in and find canned goods and some box goods and just put aside for preparing meals. Think about what kind of meal you're going to prepare. They have to be simple. In an emergency situation, we have beans and rice, and then you can get beans and rice, and then you can perhaps get some cheap Fritos, and then you can do beans with Fritos, and then you can get the Parmesan cheese and use that. It may not be the other cheese, but you can put Parmesan cheese on top of that. You can get canned spaghetti sauce or bottled spaghetti sauce, but canned would be better because it won't break or shatter like glass. You can use that, a canned spaghetti sauce and some spaghetti, put that together, and you have spaghetti, and then you have the Parmesan cheese in the container, because it doesn't have to be refrigerated, although they say refrigerate it. I mean, you can keep it in a cooler and keep it cool, right? So it doesn't have to be a Bouge RV. I went and looked at that, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. It's cool, but I'm thinking, do I really need to spend the money on a Bouge RV or anything like that? No, because if I'm bugging out, the most I'll probably do is bug out in my backyard, unless it has to be a major catastrophe happening to my home. But for people who maybe are living in an apartment and it's a multi-level apartment, we just saw that what happened down in Florida. I mean, that can happen. But I don't even think those people at that point, the ones that had that didn't fall, that was still standing, did they even have time to pull something together to get out? Maybe they just had time to grab some clothes and any personal effects before they had to evacuate their apartment, the ones that survived and didn't fall down. So those can happen in an apartment. So I understand that, you cannot carry anything heavy. You need to pack really light in those situations. But in that case, that leads to, what clothes do you need? That should be in your emergency kit. A comfortable pair of shoes, a pair of socks, maybe 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of underwear, bras if you need them, if you're a woman, some sanitary napkins for women, and tops, and put together, 1 towel, 1 face cloth, and some liquid soap or something, so that in case you need to run and you can't get to a shower, you can probably go to a YMCA or go to a gym, take a shower there, and change your clothes if you can't get to anybody like a relative or a friend. But most often they will allow you to come in. But that bag should have some some items that you can just, a backpack you can put on in an emergency if you're living in an apartment, and you can just, put that on and have a change of clothes and something to comb your hair, brush your teeth. Those are those necessities that you need. Okay, if that is the case, such as what happened in Florida. But if you're in a different situation, let's say it's a fire and you have a little bit more time, not a whole lot of time to gather too much, but maybe just enough to get your family and you and grab a few things and put into a car or put on the sidewalk on the outside and get out of a burning building. But if it's a fire close to you, like you look out the hallway of your apartment and a few doors down, it's on fire. Well, again, you're not going to have time to pull out a generator and water and all that. That's not important at this point. Now it's your personal safety. And with that, that's important to what? Make sure you have a change of clothes and something to comb your hair and brush your teeth. Those things, shoes and those comfort belts, for men or even women. Those things, sanitary napkins, that should be an emergency bag if you're in an apartment in a situation where there's something on fire or a partial collapse of a building. You have to get out. You're not worried about provisions. You're worried about your own personal safety. Now, if you live in a home and something happens, which here in Los Angeles, there was a catastrophe that happened with LAPD, with the bomb squad, and the bomb container exploded, or should I say imploded, and it left several people's homes damaged. Some people couldn't live in their home because it was beyond damage, because pieces of the bomb container landed on their house. In that case, you're going to want to pack up your emergency provisions, supplies. Those people I saw, they could live in their backyard. They didn't have to leave their whole house. They could have stayed right there within a tent, and they had limited access to their home, just not livable. So they had limited access. They could bug out in their backyard. But if your house is on fire, again, you're not going to be that. It's not about provisions. It's about personal safety and getting your family out. So what are you going to do? You need to get your important papers and something to change your clothes and personal hygiene items. That's what is important. Those are the things that people need to think about. There's different situations where you might need different things. Now, if there's a SHTF that's happening, and you need to, stay in place, right? You need to stay in your home, stay in your apartment. And in that case, that's where these things come in at. A grid down situation, water supply, someone tampers with the water supply. Those things right there, that's when you start thinking about, I need emergency generator, I need emergency water. Those are those things. But you have to think about the types of emergencies, situations that can happen where you're at. I don't live in an apartment. I'm not multi-level house. It's a one-level home on a slab. So yes, I can have earthquake damage, but I can probably stay in my backyard. If my house catches on fire, I can care less about all the provisions. I need to get out with what I can, some clothes and some hygiene items, so that I can go to a hotel or a relative or a friend's home to stay for a little bit until they can assess the damage and see if there's anything salvageable. So I don't think I'm in need, a generator and a tent. I don't think I will. But again, that's my thinking of if my home catches on fire. Or in the case of the people where the bomb, there were some people who had very little damage. Only the windows got blown out by that bomb. And so all they had to do is really either get the window replaced or put up some board in it as a temporary solution until they can get the windows replaced, so they could just stay there in their home. Nothing else was affected. So there's different reasons for different things. Now, if there's something that happens and you need to stay at home, but the water supply is down, use your bathtub. Fill your bathtub. Make sure it's clean. They have this thing called a water bob. You can purchase a water bob, or you can clean your bathtub. Or even if you can't get it, cleaned in time, fill it up with water, and that can be used for washing dishes or bathing yourself or something of that sort. Maybe not for drinking, but hopefully you'll have some water set aside for drinking. And if you can get a hold of some water, I want to show you something that's super simple. I had to do this when my water heater went out. We were without hot water for a few days or several days until our warranty people could replace the water heater. So meantime, I had to think, what am I going to do about taking a shower? I'm not going to go days without taking a shower. I really don't want to go next door, and I didn't want to go clear across town to a relative's house or relatives or friends. So what did I do? I had access to my gas. It was just no hot water. I had water and gas, and I had a gas stove. So I heated up some water, and then once I heated up some water, I added, okay, this is a huge bucket, okay? The same buckets that a Lead Farmer 73 tells us to use to plant our trees, and we can use for gardening. Well, you can use this, fill it up with some hot water, which doesn't take much because hot water is, you just need a warm water to take a shower, so it's not cold. So heat up some water, you put it in there, add some water. It does not, I found out that you do not need to fill this all the way up. It doesn't take, this is I think a 20-gallon bucket. I didn't have to fill it up with 20 gallons. It only took a few gallons. I want to say it was like maybe 3 gallons of water at the most. I think it was maybe 2, but I just had to take a quick shower, just something quick. But I want to say it was 2 or 3 gallons. So let's just say 3. But 3 gallons of water. Then what did I do to take a shower? I didn't step in the bucket to do so. What I did was I went online to Amazon and I picked this up. Battery operated portable shower. Now the box is kind of destroyed because, like I said, I had to use this. However, it has a rechargeable battery pump, okay? So it has a rechargeable battery pump. Then it has this hose attachment, okay? So you take this is for the recharge, for the recharger, and you put this on correctly, you tighten it down, it becomes water impermeable. And this is the on and off switch. This is the pump and outlet. So you put that in, you tighten this down, you drop it in your bucket of water, and now you have a shower. Easy peasy. I did that for several days until my water heater was fixed, but I had to find a way. And that's just thinking out the box, because I figured, people who go camping, don't always have access to, a bathroom to take a shower, or maybe a lake to jump in and bathe themselves. So I'm sure there had to be something portable. So I went to Amazon and I put in portable shower, and I came up with this. Now, there are other portable showers. You got solar showers, solar bag showers. There's all kinds of different options. So you can look and see what option best suits you. I was looking for something inexpensive and something quick that they would deliver quickly. So, and that's what I came up with. So just thinking outside the box to really think about, what do you need in an emergency situation? For me, not having hot water to take a bath was an emergency situation for me. I don't have to wash my dishes every day. I waited on a few days and had enough dishes to survive with that. Heated up water where I needed warm water if I need it. It's for like the shower or even to wash dishes because I had my gas stove. And I still had electricity. So in an emergency situation, you have to think outside the box. You have to think of your needs. It might be electricity going out. Our electricity goes out randomly. So I have my solar generator plugged in to do pass-through power while my refrigerator is charged, is plugged into the solar generator. The solar generator is plugged into the wall. So if the power goes out, the solar generator will kick in. But again, if you don't have the money for a $900 or $500 or $1,500, solar generator, there is other options. It's better to have something than to have nothing, you guys. And look at other options as if you can get PayPal credit. PayPal credit offers 6 months payments, no interest. Amazon has their own Amazon card, so you can use that. And sometimes if you look on certain items that you purchase, okay, certain items that you purchase, they have, if you look at under the description, sometimes they will, on your Amazon card, will divide up the payments. It will say, $70.34 each month for 6 months, right? So you can do it that way. Divide up your payments. Again, save some money out of each check. You have to think about how much money we waste on just everything. And I understand where I live in California, specifically in Los Angeles, it is expensive here. It's like New York. So it's not easy for people here in LA to have money because a lot of people are working just above minimum wage, which is $15 an hour here. But a lot of people's rent is anywhere from $1,500, $2,200 or more a month. On $15 a month, that's just not enough. So I understand the crunch. So you have to think, I can't get a Bouge RV or a Bluetti or a Jackery or a Nature's Generator for that matter, but look on Amazon for other options. If it may not be the name brand, but if it does the job for what you need it for, does it matter? It can be called Joe Blow generator for anybody cares, as long as it's going to do the job. And you're going to need more than 100 watt hours, like that little GoPro thing or whatever they had. I forgot what Lead Farmer had. That's a really portable power, I think, for people who are going to the park or a beach or hiking or a small camping trip or something that's light and portable. That's what that's for. But if you're at home and lights go out and you don't have electricity, you may need to power your refrigerator. And if you need to power your refrigerator, a little small item is that portable power bank. It's not going to do it. So you need something with a little bit more wattage hours to it. So don't get hung up on the fact that it's not a name brand. Who cares? Amazon has most of the time free return. It's really easy. Get it, try it out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, take it back and try something else. So I hope this video helps someone. This was my rants dressing, because I'm looking at them going, people, there's no reason not to be prepared. Saying you don't have money, not when there is too many ways to make money or make extra money or to get extra money. I mean, there is just a plethora of ways. You just have to think about it. Stop and think about some ways you can make money, something you can sell, something you can get that you can recycle, or a second little job. If you're incapacitated and you really can't move around that much and you can't work a second job, maybe you can aid the help of family or friends to help you out. Or maybe you're just going to have to hold your coins, your pennies, your quarters, your nickels and dimes, and save them up in a big old 5-gallon water container, like the Sparkless container, until you have the money. But there's still no excuse as to why you should not be prepared. If you don't have the power and you can at least get water from the Dollar Tree. You can get canned goods. I just did a video on several things that you can purchase from the Dollar Tree for an emergency kit. especially for a starter kit, and just add on from there. All right, people. Again, this was my ranch dressing in response to Lead Farmer 73. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't bore you. Hope you can learn something from this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.